and welcome to part 1 of the Poriscope video tutorial series, What is Poriscope? This series will lay out the foundation of everything you'll do in Poriscope. But before we jump right into the detailed workflows, we will introduce you to the software environment as well as present to you some essential tools and settings you need to make the most out of your Poriscope experience. So, what is Poriscope? Poriscope is a software tool designed to analyze data from nanopore experiments, although in principle it can also be used to analyze data from almost any time series at all. It provides a modular plugin-based interface for both researchers and developers working with ionic current traces to detect and characterize translocation events. So now, let's get started. I will walk you through the process of installing Poriscope locally on your computer. You can also refer to the installation steps by accessing that Poriscope documentation. You can find the documentation by going to tcosalab.github.io/poriscope/. The link to the documentation is also added in the description of this video. So once you click on that link, this is what you will see, and you can go to User Manuals, click on Plugin Development, then click on Getting Started, and you will see a list of detailed steps on how to install Poriscope. You can refer to this at any time, but now we will go over them together. So, first thing first, you have to make sure you have the prerequisites installed. Notably, you need Git and Python. Poriscope supports Windows 11 as well as Python 12 and Python 13. Though you should be able to use any Python version, it is possible that dependency conflicts will arise, so we highly recommend that you use Python 3.12.10 because, well, otherwise you will have to resolve the conflicts on your own. When you're installing Python, make sure that you are checking the checkbox that says Add Python to Path. Later on, we will see why this step is relevant. Once you have Git and Python installed, you can proceed with the application installation. I also want to point out that as the recording of this video, we are working on Linux support for Poriscope, and any updates on that matter will be added to the description of this video as well. So, installation. There's two ways to go about installing Poriscope. It depends on whether you are a developer or you are a general user. So, if you're a developer, you would want to install Poriscope in editable mode. So what you will do is that you will open your command prompt and then you will copy and paste these 3 commands right here. After that, you would have successfully installed Poriscope. What editable mode means is that any changes you make to the codebase as a developer will automatically show every time you relaunch the application. So this is pretty practical if you are actively interacting with the code. Additionally, since you are cloning the repository, you are able to retroactively pull any updates that are available. The other option, and this is the one we recommend for general users, for people that are not interacting with the codebase, is to install the stable version. So you will open your command prompt, type cmd on the search bar on Windows, and then you will copy this command right here. This will automatically install the latest stable version of Poriscope. And yeah, the only caveat is that this does not retroactively update, but if at any point you would like to upgrade your Poriscope version, you are more than welcome to do so. You can do so by opening the command prompt, doing pip uninstall Poriscope, and then you just copy this command line again. So once you have followed any of these installation processes, you are ready to use Poriscope. And you can launch Poriscope in a really simple manner, in a really convenient manner, by just opening the command prompt and typing Poriscope. You can do this in any terminal, could be CMD on Windows, could be your Git bash terminal, whichever you prefer, you just have to type Poriscope. And you are able to do this because we added Python to the path, so the system identifies Poriscope as a convenience command. Additionally, I want to mention a really important thing. One of the advantages of Poriscope is its extensibility and its modular nature, which allows you to use Poriscope components, especially plugins, in standalone scripts But in order to do this, you have to make sure that if you have multiple Python versions, you are always using the same interpreter. You have Poriscope installed in when you are running these standalone scripts, because otherwise you will not be able to import from Poriscope directly. So now that we have successfully installed Poriscopes, let's go ahead and see what the interface looks like. As I mentioned, launching Poriscope is a pretty straightforward process. You just have to open the terminal of your choice. In my case, I'm just going to type cmd here and open the command prompt. And then you just have to write a single command, Poriscope. You click enter and that's it. Your application will launch. No need to navigate to a specific folder and do a bunch of cd. You just have to write one command and the application will open. So once the application launches, this is what you will be seeing. And at the top, we have what we call the file menu. Here you have all the session related options, as well as you have the option to load data through the reader plugins. You can load filters. You also can access the help in the tutorial here. We will later on get into those two elements. And you can also instantiate different analysis tabs. So that is the top bar menu or the file menu. Then we have the sidebar menu, which is on the left side. It is a collapsible menu. You can use it in whichever way you prefer. And this is basically your main point for navigating the different analysis tabs. In part 2, we will get into what each analysis tab is, what they are used for. But now it's sufficient that you know that whenever you want to change tabs, you click here, you click here, you click here, and then you can alternate. Additionally, you have the option to see the help menu too, the settings menu, and to exit the application. But we don't want to do that right now, so we will proceed. So what we are looking at here in the middle is the main view. The main view is divided in three different sections, and except for the last section, which is the progress section, that the other two can vary. So I'll show you that. For instance, if we go to the sidebar menu, we click the raw data tab, we have switch views, and then we have at the top is a display area, which is composed of a canvas. In all of the analysis tabs that Poriscope ships with, the display area is a canvas, and what's on the top is a canvas for any, whether it's a trace, whether it's events, etc., etc. Then under the display area, we have what we call the control panel. So the control panel is different depending on the analysis tab you're in, because the different analysis tabs, which correspond to analysis steps, require different features. So for instance, if we go to the event analysis tab, then we can see that the control panels are different. And then finally, there is a progress area that you cannot see here because it's not a persistent element. The display area and the control panel are persistent elements, which means they are always there, whereas the progress area will appear under the control panel only when needed. And what triggers the progress area is any action that requires heavy computation. It will show you the progress for one or many of these actions that you have taken. So as you can see, I have taken some actions here, but don't worry about it. You will understand what's going on in section 2, in part 2 of this tutorial series. In the meantime, I just wanted you to be able to see the three different sections of the main view. So let's look at that. So it was not there before, but now it's there. It's the progress area, which is at the bottom. It can take in this case, it's only one progress bar. It could be multiple. We'll see how that works later on. But as you can see, it dynamically shows when you need it. And when you don't, it disappears. But it's an element that composes the main view. So I wanted you to be aware of that. And then finally, but definitely not least, because this is probably one of my favorite features, is the login panel, which is at the right of the screen. This right here. So what this panel does is that as you go throughout your analysis, it will print information regarding the different steps that you have taken. Again, don't worry about the steps now. We will get into that in part 2. But this is this gives you an idea of things, messages that you may see, like the file that you loaded, the number of channels, something that didn't finish because I was stopping the event finder as usual stop. But again, we're not using that terminology. We're not worrying about the terminology now. We are just looking at the interface. So we have the top menu, the sidebar menu, the main view, which changes depending on your tab, and then finally the login panel. Together, all of these elements combined make up a workspace designed for iterative step-by-step nanopore analysis. More specifically, Poriscope is tailored for visualizing ionic current traces, whether it is with or without a low-pass filter. It is also tailored for detecting translocation events through customizable algorithms, and analyzing the event properties such as duration or sublevel structure. Though, it's worth noting that thanks to the modular nature of Poriscope, you're able to analyze any property you may find relevant as long as you make a plugin that implements the proper algorithm. Poriscope also allows you to modify and explore databases containing your events so that you can visualize the metadata and cluster to uncover patterns in molecular transport. And finally, Poriscope allows you to export your data for further analysis or for publication. So, as you can see, whether it is that you are developing a new analysis method or that you are preprocessing large datasets, Poriscope adapts to your workflow. And the reason why it is able to do this is because of a couple of core features. The first one of these features being its plugin architecture, which allows us to build and extend with a lot of ease. Then we have the live plotting, which is what allows us to visualize different traces, PSDs, events, and clusters, everything in real time. We also have the custom readers and filters so that we can handle multiple file extensions, and the detection and fitting that can take place through customizable advanced algorithms. Once we have the events, Poriscope is really big on database management so that you can save your data, reload it, and query it in an efficient manner. Finally, we cannot forget about the clustering capabilities of Poriscope, which automatically groups similar events. And as a nice add-on, Poriscope comes with a built-in help system that we will see in the next video. In the next few videos, we will dive deeper into what Poriscope is designed to do, starting with the help system. So whenever you're ready, let's move on and see how Poriscope helps you learn by doing.